10 dumb money rules your parents taught you. You're no dummy, right? Then you need to stop making dumb money moves following years-old traditions. Watch on to learn about some of the dumb but common money moves people make every day, and how to avoid them, as in today's video we make you privy to the top 10 dumb money rules your parents taught you. Number 10. Carrying a credit card balance when you have money in the bank. Always stay jacked up on your credit card balance, they say, and they are so wrong. Credit cards are powerful tools and can give you some pretty nifty rewards, but it's dumb to carry a balance. It's even dumber to carry a balance when you have a lot of money in the bank. Your savings account is making about what? 0.1% interest? And your credit card interest rate is probably at least 10 to 20%, right? It makes no sense to leave money languishing in savings when it could be helping you avoid spending on credit card interest. Of course, be careful to leave yourself an emergency cushion before tapping those savings. Number 9. Going into debt for purchases that lose value. Are depreciating assets still assets? We say not. Buying a house with a mortgage can be a smart financial move under the right circumstances. Why? Because you can often count on the home appreciating, gaining value over time. But think about your credit card debt. What did you buy with that money? Do you still have those purchases? If so, could you sell them for what you paid? Rather than take on debt and outlandish interest payments for items that quickly become worthless, save up and pay cash instead. Number 8. Buying new when you could buy used. Brand new has a spark of its own, they say. Only if you're blinded by pride, we say. Speaking of spending and debt, let's talk about buying new stuff all the time. This dumb money move can cost you oodles of cash. Certainly, there are some things we don't recommend buying used. But for almost everything else, from clothes to cars, you can usually find used versions nearly as good as new, but for a fraction of the price. Number 7. Spending on stuff you rarely use. Things that have little utility often spark great desires. A lot of hard-earned money flies out the window when we buy new goods that we use just once or twice a year. A few examples: power tools for an impulse weekend project, sports equipment, and fancy one-use wedding or party outfits. Instead, see if you're better off renting. Not only may you find that it's cheaper, but you won't get stuck maintaining and storing your purchases for years on end. Or share a purchase with others. See if your neighbors want to go in together on a lawnmower and garden tools. Keep them in a communal shed for all to share. If you're still hanging around until this point in the video, you're about to be enlightened by the surprising few dumb money moves coming ahead. Number 6. Forgetting trial subscriptions and returns. We'll raise our hands and admit this is a dumb money move we continue to make. Once, when we were part of a wedding party, we couldn't make it to a local store to buy some clothes we needed. We ended up purchasing online. Knowing time was short, we bought 2 sizes with the intention of returning whatever didn't fit. That sounded good in theory. In practice, the unneeded item is still sitting in my breezeway, and the return window is closed. Likewise, it's easy but expensive to forget to cancel trial subscriptions and other recurring expenses. Don't get caught napping. Make a note on your calendar to cancel before charges start, and watch for recurring charges on bank and credit card monthly statements. Cancel those that you don't use. Number 5. Missing out on a 401k match. 401k is for oldies, they say. It's for the richies, we object. One report finds that 1 in 3 workers pass up this free boost to their retirement. An employer's match is free money that your company will deposit into your retirement account. The catch: you have to put money there too. Call your company's human resources people if you aren't sure whether your company offers a 401k match. That's also where to learn the minimum amount you must save for retirement to claim your employer's match. Number 4. Forgetting to set up a safety net. It's dumb to go through life without a safety net. You need a plan B so you can spring into action in case you lose your job, your car engine dies, or your child breaks an arm. One excellent plan B is money in the bank. It feels great to know you're covered if something goes wrong. Number 3. Paying extra for low deductibles. Raising the deductibles on your insurance policies is a great way to save some cash. For one example, the Insurance Information Institute reports that raising your auto insurance deductible from $200 to $500 could save anywhere from 15 to 30% on your premium. Opt for a $1,000 deductible, and you could save 40%. However, this strategy only works well if you have money in the bank to cover the deductible when you need to make a claim. Caution: people with chronic or serious health concerns may want to steer clear of medical insurance plans with super high deductibles. In this case, it may be better to pay a higher monthly premium than to try to meet a deductible that could, for bronze plans on the government exchange for instance, be extremely high. Number 2. Signing contracts you don't understand. We hear about this mistake most often when it comes to mortgages. People agree to adjustable rate mortgages and then seem surprised when the interest rates go up. Or they're shocked to learn that they haven't made a dent on their principal balance after paying on an interest-only loan for a year. People also borrow student loans, buy life insurance and investments, and lease vehicles without fully realizing what they're getting themselves into. The simple fact is that signing contracts you don't understand can be an expensive mistake. Number 1. Living without a money plan. This bad money move often can be directly or indirectly linked to most other mistakes we describe above. You may think writing down financial goals and creating a budget is boring, difficult, or depressing. Not to mince words, but I think it's dumb to use those excuses to avoid trying. If you're not sure where to start setting goals and budgeting, we've got plenty of resources for you at Money Talks News. Personal finance is a term that covers managing your money as well as saving and investing. It encompasses budgeting, banking, insurance, mortgages, investments, retirement planning, and tax and estate planning. The term often refers to the entire industry that provides financial services to individuals and households and advises them about financial and investment opportunities. Personal finance is about meeting personal financial goals, whether it's having enough for short-term financial needs, planning for retirement, or saving for your child's college education. It all depends on your income, expenses, living requirements, and individual goals and desires, and coming up with a plan to fulfill those needs within your financial constraints. To make the most of your income and savings, it's important to become financially illiterate, so you can distinguish between good and bad advice to make smart decisions. Devise a budget. A budget is essential to living within your means and saving enough to meet your long-term goals. The 50-30-20 budgeting method offers a great framework. B. Create an emergency fund. It's important to pay yourself first to ensure money is set aside for unexpected expenses, such as medical bills, a big car repair, day-to-day expenses if you get laid off, and more. 3 to 6 months' work of living expenses is the ideal safety net. Financial experts generally recommend putting away 20% of each paycheck every month. Once you've filled up your emergency fund, don't stop. Continue funneling the monthly 20% towards other financial goals, such as a retirement fund or a down payment on a house. C. Limit debt. It sounds simple enough. To keep debt from getting out of hand, don't spend more than you can earn. Of course, most people do have to borrow from time to time, and sometimes going into debt can be advantageous. For example, if it leads to acquiring an asset. Taking out a mortgage to buy a house might be one such case. Still, leasing can sometimes be more economical than buying outright, whether you're renting a property, leasing a car, or even getting a subscription to computer software. D. Use credit cards wisely. Credit cards can be major debt traps, but it's unrealistic not to own any in the contemporary world. Furthermore, they have applications beyond buying things. They are not only crucial to establishing your credit rating, but also a great way to track spending, which can be a big budgeting aid. Credit just needs to be managed correctly, which means that you should pay off your full balance every month, or at least keep your credit utilization ratio at a minimum. That is, keep your account balances below 30% of your total available credit. Given the extraordinary rewards and incentives offered these days, such as cashback, it makes sense to charge as many purchases as possible if you can pay your bills in full. Most importantly, avoid maxing out credit cards at all costs, and always pay bills on time. One of the fastest ways to ruin your credit score is to constantly pay bills late, or worse, miss payments. See tip 5. Using a debit card, which takes money directly from your bank account, is another way to ensure that you will not be paying for accumulated small purchases over an extended period with interest. E. Monitor your credit score. Credit cards are the main vehicle through which your credit score is built and maintained, so watching credit spending goes hand in hand with monitoring your credit score. If you ever want to obtain a lease, mortgage, or any other type of financing, then you'll need a solid credit report. With that, we end today's video. Don't forget to join in next time for more of such interesting content.